Hi Sixth Form, just going to do a very short video. It's not going to be the sort of detailed one that I'm producing. It's quite a long video, that one, but I just wanted to give you a very quick demonstration about how you can do revolves and create this sort of basic profiles, if you like. Once you've got into that, you'll probably be able to work out the most parts of it from there. So I'm going to start a totally new document. So call it test revolve. So exactly the same principle that we normally start with. So again, we always start off with a sketch. Again, rather than using the top plane for revolve, I tend to use the front plane. Again, it's 62/3s, I suppose, but that's the way I tend to do it. So it's roughly in the right orientation. So I'm going to click on the front plane. Again, when I'm doing any revolving type stuff, I actually make sure that I'm viewing it square on. So I click on the front so I can draw it absolutely square on. Again, when you're doing revolve, one thing I've learned is you want to be somewhere near the right dimensions, because otherwise when you start dimensioning it, your original drawing can go a little bit off a thing. So we're imagining basically that work plane running vertically up is the centre of rotation, or will become the centre of rotation. So I'm just going to start off by starting in the origin and then pulling out. So again, you can see, you know, somewhere near. So if your base is 20mm, get somewhere near the right measurements. But I'll just run this through. So we're then going to move up. Again, one thing you might well have noticed or picked up, you know, I do a lot of this manually dimension, that when it starts off and it gives you the dimension in this sort of white rectangle, that's basically prompting you to put in a dimension. So I could, you know, I've obviously clearly still got the line attached, but because I'm in this this white box, I could actually type in the correct dimension, so I can start dimensioning it as I go along. So every time it's in there, obviously these are little tips that we can use as we get quicker and quicker. So you can actually start dimensioning it as you go along. Clearly things like this are a little bit awkward, where you probably have a dimension from the centre line out to where you want to be. That's the sort of thing where you might need to change it, but again, I'll just do something roughly for you. Again, up. Again, these are just rough measurements, so don't pretend that these are the right ones. I just wanted to give you a basic start. Back to our origin. Again, it always has to be a closed loop. You know it's a closed loop when it's all greyed out. Once you've done that and you've got it basically dimensioned up somewhere near where it needs to be, it's then a case of click on the yes, I'm happy with that. I'm then just going to revolve. So all I do, revolve. It then asks me to what shapes do I want to revolve. So I clearly click my sketch, and then it's now asking me what axis. So again, I click on the axis and I'm just going to click that work plane. And you'll see, dead easy, it creates that revolve. So again, very straightforward. From there, you can then start adding on your details, so making sure you've got it. So again, I'd go back to sketch on the top, like hollowing out the top. So again, find the middle. Again, you could dimension, you know, the wall thickness there. Again, it's quite narrow, that top. Again, this isn't to scale at all, but gives you the idea. Again, I then go back into my usual sort of removing material. Again, one thing you might want to start doing as you're going into your design work. Clearly, we do a lot of measuring and all that type of thing, but you can actually use this one again. You might need this a bit later on when you start. Some of the things are very difficult to measure, but you can see that I can actually sort of drag these icons down to give me an idea of where I might want to be. That type of thing. I'll just, you know me, I like to have everything right. So, oh. And you get the idea that I can do that sort of thing. Again, one other little detail that you might want to know is it's quite difficult if you're having things coming out the middle. This is where you can use the work planes to actually sketch on. So again, I'll just do a very simple, quick example for you. So again, I'm going to sketch, but this time I'm actually going to sketch onto that work plane. So I can always select the work plane. Again, I tend to then make sure I'm viewing it square on. going to sketch just a centre rectangle. Again, you'll see it'll pick up the centre line from that bottom drawing. I'm just going to do a rough sort of. Again, here you'll see, rather than going in the dimension tool, as long as it's got that box around it, you can actually dimension it manually. Again, it's just what you get used to, really. I always quite like to dimension mine separately. Clearly, I might then have to dimension it from that top face, whatever it needs to be. It gives you a basic idea of what I'm going to do. Yes, I'm happy with that sort of rectangle. You'll see that it goes as a dotted line because obviously it's clearly inside. And when I go to extrude it, we can do some slightly different things. So I want to add material, and I want to extrude this, pull this all the way out. The problem you get is, I can't select it. You can't select it because it's on the inside. So what you've got to do is actually select it from the sort of features menu. And again, it'll do the exact same thing. So you can see that it'll pull it out there. One thing that you can do, and again, when you start getting competent with this, you'll see at the moment we're just doing a sort of, I've given it a measurement. You can actually do it symmetrical, so I can pull it out both sides. Oh, sorry, that's the wrong one, sorry. Symmetric. Yeah, so you can see I can, and again, that's where, if you haven't got an exact measurement, you can start to think, what actually looks right. Then change that measurement to like a whole number, normally is what I would do. Gives you that idea of how you can go about adding things like this, where the switches are, all that type of thing. But gives you that basic idea of you should be able to make a good start on what we need to do. Again, for the screws, bits and pieces, you can just add create a new sub-assembly basically and add the screws on that way, or you can draw them on as you do normally. Just a quick one for you, just to get you started on the next sections.